going on, people? A couple of things to edit. What's up, Annette Williams? My moderator, my favorite moderator. What's going on with y'all, man? Let me do a couple of thingy things in the YouTube studio while I get everything ready. Monday. I can't believe it snowed. I'm like, man, we get 80 degrees and then it end up snowing, you know? I don't know what to do about Milwaukee, man. What can you do about it, right? I just don't know what they want to do. Milwaukee is like the people, and a girl told me today, she was like, she happy that it got cold again. I said, hold up, let me wait till it get to the 1 minute mark to say what I said. I said, cause no, why is you happy that it's cold again? But she said because folks shooting out there, they get the shooting, they get the acting stupid and all that. But I told her, I said, man, folks is shooting in the blizzards now. You know what I'm saying? They don't even care. It could be below zero outside. They still shooting. Listen, she said she said the bullets was gonna blow back in their face. I'm like, yeah, all right. But nah, they shooting in any weather now. They don't care. Like they used to wait till it got hot outside. Ain't no guarantees on that now. You know what I'm saying? They shooting in any weather. They'll come get you together in any weather. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it's cool though. I think I'm ready for that change. I'm ready for the season to change. One thing I do like about the Midwest and Milwaukee in particular is that we get all of our seasons. You go other places, like you could go out west, you could go to Cali. You could go like to the Southwest, Texas, whatnot. And it's of course you're gonna appreciate Arizona. I loved Arizona when I was down there. Arizona was nice. I seen lizards, like how you see squirrels and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I seen cactuses just in the medians in the middle of the road, like how we have trees and all that. It's a whole different biome, as it's called. It's the desert, you know. So then when you get to like the city, like I was in Phoenix, you see like palm trees and it's like an oasis in the desert, right? The park was nice. It wasn't just like a regular, since it's a park, but it's in the desert. It's like palm trees and stuff like that. It was cool. It was cool. But one thing I could say, you flying out, right? Cause you fly in, you fly out. You just see nothing but like desert until you get to the city and you see like you see the green and you see the oasis and all that. But people got rocks in their yards too instead of grass, because get so hot the grass will burn up. So think about that, right? That's another tripped out thing about it. So what I was saying, I say all that to say this. I like when I'm when I'm flying back in and you start to see all that green. You start to see just like green grass everywhere. You see like Michigan and all that. You be like, man, the Midwest is beautiful. Like where we live at, we get all our seasons, especially if you come in like the fall or something like that. Definitely got a charm to it. But then you hit the ground. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, police sirens, where babies crying, pop, pop, pop. You know what I'm saying? People firing guns, So I love it from up in the air and till you hit the ground, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I like it though. I can't wait for this weather to get warm. But yeah, on to the clips. We got some good ones for you today. So we got one with this lady. She an older lady, and she was talking about she was married for 5 years. It was interesting because it reminded me of a kind of like a conversation I was having this weekend, and I was like, okay, when I seen the clip, I'm like, I will take this clip and I will show this clip and I will see how other people feel since it pertained to a conversation that I had, like a good conversation, you know what I'm saying? With a married friend of mine or whatever, because it's a married woman saying something, you know, similar to what she was saying or whatever. We had a nice convo about it. So just talking about being married and the value of it. And I'll go so far as to let the narrator say what he had to say about it, because I actually felt different based on the conversation that I had with somebody like kind of firsthand in the situation. So we're gonna talk about that. And I'm gonna talk about Annette say that she seen this dude before. I never seen him before. So he got like a TikTok. It's a white dude. I just call him white uncle. You know that. You know on my channel if they older, and you know it's an African thing too. We call somebody uncle or auntie, and it's a thing in the hood when they sell dope. But like nah, so you know you call somebody older uncle or auntie, so I just say white uncle. That's why I say it like that, right? Just in case you don't know, it ain't really my white uncle, but you know what I'm saying. He's all of our white uncle looking ass, but nah. So he was talking about he said like white folks. This is him saying it. So YouTube, you know the context, so I'm not. Don't try to flag me or none of that. But he was saying like white people are professional gaslighters, you know what I'm saying, like about everything that, especially towards black people, like about who they are, about who we are, about who they are, like they professionals at, you know what I'm saying, telling us like, oh man, if we did this, we didn't try it. If we did it and we did try it, you made us do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what? Y'all know what gaslighting is. Everybody done been in a relationship, abusive relationship. And we definitely always said that. We got an abusive relationship with America. You know what I'm saying? See, Annette say he always speak facts about race. It's new to me, so, I'm a check it out. I was intrigued by what he was saying. And then last but not least, my one of the people that kind of influenced me to start my YouTube channel is a guy, and his name is FD Signifier. Yeah, that's his name. And he do a lot of good commentary about different stuff too. Ricky Williams in the building, the winning team representing. What's going on, my brother? And yeah, we talking about FD Signifier, one of the people, he made documentary style videos about different stuff, and I watched how his channel grew based on the stuff he was talking about, and it kind of inspired me. I'm like, yeah, that's the type of stuff that I kind of want to talk about. But I do documentary style videos too, but he really go deep on it, and he got like kind of a network. It's pretty good. So I went into one of his videos, and he was talking about like black conservatives, and he was making some good points. So I'm like, I'm gonna check that out. So that's what it is, man. We gonna check these 3 clips out. You know what I'm saying? And what we gonna do, as a matter of fact, we gonna do it just like this, y'all. I'm gonna do these analytics real quick. We gonna dive right in. Yeah. Appreciate it, Rick. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the Tool gang on deck. You know what I'm saying? Everybody checking out Mac World Live. If I don't forget to hit that like button, help me get in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? I'm close to becoming a YouTube partner. So shout out to everybody that been giving me them views. You know what I'm saying? Sticking with me, staying with me since I started this thing. You know what I'm saying? Last year on August. I started it August 1st. I picked the day that Will Smith hated the most. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's how it is. Y'all already know, man. So we gonna get into this thing, get everything smoking. Mac World Live, baby. Let's go. Bad, y'all. My bad about that. I had to end it abruptly by accident. I ain't mean to do that. But yeah, let's get into it, y'all. Mac World. Let's go. All right, first of all, I gotta show y'all this. Like I was telling y'all, Annette say she know this guy, or you know, I never heard of him before, but so I guess, you know, we'll figure out his name. But the channel, shout out to the girl who channel it is, Do My Babe Leah. And you know, I don't know why, man. I've been getting all these good channels from all these like all these good you know, African YouTubers, content creators in my algorithm. But yeah, definitely he was saying some stuff that you know, I kind of had this epiphany on my own with some of my friends, some of my you know, Caucasian friends, mayonnaise, if you would, you know. So let's go. Let's see what he's talking about.
Why they do the things they do as a form of self-preservation, and how he has been passed down from generation to generation. Let's just go right ahead and play his clip right now.
Too.
Folks, I hate to say it, but white folks are largely professional gaslighters when it comes to race. We are professional liars when it comes to race. It's part of white supremacy and how it functions and how it works. From the very first African that was enslaved, we have been gaslighting black folks as white people. That's our culture. That's our tradition. That's our indoctrination. And that's what we do. And that's what we do best. We lie every single day. And we lie to black people. We lie to each other. We lie to ourselves about race. We gaslight. Gaslight, if you don't know, it's a psychological term. It's where the abuser tells the victim that this reality of you being abused is not really happening. It's just something in your imagination. You're being paranoid. You're being too sensitive. All this abuse is not real. And if it is real, it's only because you deserved it. I was trying to help you. It's justified somehow. We have always justified our racism. And if we're not justifying it, we're denying it. If we're not denying it, then we're deflecting it. The last thing white people would do is simply acknowledge the truth racially. That's why I say we're bullshit artists. We are professional fucking liars and gaslighters. That's exactly what we do as white people, and that's the truth. And if you deny it, you're a fucking liar. 90% of white people today, right now in America, no matter how young or how old, we've been so profoundly indoctrinated that we cannot simply acknowledge the truth racially. Can't do it. And if we do it, there's a but or a deflection. Can't do it. 90% of us will not do it. So this is why we are gaslighting academically. This is why Black history all around America right now is being criminalized. That tradition of gaslighting, that tradition of hiding, that tradition of pretending racism is not real, is their educational system. And they want to protect that tradition. They do not want the truth to be out. People know that the hope is with the younger generation. Isn't that what they always say? I hope the younger people, I hope the next generation will do better. They know that if the truth ever gets taught racially, that's why CRT is banned. That's why if you talk about race, it's banned. All around America, states, counties, schools, teachers, threat of arrest, Black stories, beautiful Black books, banned, erased, censored, libraries empty, criminalization of Black history, folks. Because why? Because white people are all about denying. White people are all about gaslighting. That's our tradition. Deny, deflect, never teach the truth, never acknowledge the truth. Because if we do, if we teach the truth, what will happen? White supremacy could be threatened. Economic advantages for white people, the dominant position could be threatened. They're threatened, like all bullies are threatened. They're threatened by their victims. So of course they don't want the truth to be taught. So what do? They keep it whitewashed. They keep the lies perpetrating, the narratives, the whitewashing. Pretend George Washington, Andrew Jackson were heroes, as they owned hundreds of slaves.
Be in the building. What's going on?
Keep pretending, keep denying, keep whitewashing. Let's not learn about black heroes. Let's not learn about black stories. Let's not learn about black history. Let's not learn about black contributions. Why? Because that would be the truth. And that's not our tradition. We're supposed to promote whiteness. That's how white nationalism works. They pretend that, we're innocent. We're trying to protect the sensitivity of our white children. No, you're not. You're trying to keep white supremacy and your privilege alive. You want to be on top the same way that your parents wanted to be on top and their parents wanted to be on top. That's how white supremacy works. It's a power thing. The idea of dismantling white supremacy cannot happen until we can teach our children the truth.
So when I watched,
Let me cook on that for a second. Shout out to Do My Bay Leah, looking good right here. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I'm gonna cook on that for a little second. So this is what I think. You know what I'm saying? EB in the building. What's going on, brother? I want to cook on that for a little second, right? I remember talking to one of my white friends or whatever, and I tell you something funny, like he considered me his friend, right? But he also had another friend who was like a racist dude. And this is ironic about the dude being racist. The dude he was racist like against like minorities or like, black people, other people, but he wasn't even white. He was a white dude like mixed with Mexican, you know what I'm saying? And he used to get bullied by white people, you know what I'm saying? So in turn, his response to that was to double down on white being like, I guess white supremacists and hating, I guess, black people and Mexican people who he was part Mexican or whatever. It was stupid. So I remember we was talking one time, man. Anyway, he must have got done having a nice white supremacist rhetoric based conversation with his buddy. You know what I'm saying? We gonna call him Mike and shit. Like him and racially confused Mike just had a conversation. So he must have thought he could bring that shit my way. And you know what I'm saying? He picked the wrong ninja, bruh. The wrong ninja. You know what I'm saying? But so he was like, yeah, because he was saying something and he was like, yeah, we have to stop this and that because soon, what they're gonna do is white people are gonna be the minority in America. And I'm like, so I'm like, what's wrong with being a minority? And he thought about it for a second and is like, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. All right, then. If that's what happened, it's just what happened. Because that minority stuff is supposed to be population-based. It ain't supposed to be a status, but we all know it's a status. You know what I'm saying? We know that races are not just races, it's a status. Like, I give you an example. I always say this. I use this as an example. They was tripping about the Black Little Mermaid, right? So let's just say they said the Black Little Mermaid, and it's a regular Little Mermaid, but she just happened to be black. But let's say they said the Black Little Mermaid, and she had like a weave and like some kids, and you know what I'm saying? She was twerking and all that. That's the Black Little Mermaid they wouldn't have a problem with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it ain't so much about things where they feel like, oh man, they try to make it seem like it's not a racial thing. It's just how it is type thing. But no, they want things to be set up in a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? They want it to be seen where it's like, we here and you know what I'm saying, y'all there. And that's what my white uncle was just cooking about. He was just pointing out how, you know what I'm saying, they professionally gaslight you. You know what I mean? Let me see what Rick had to say. He say it's simple. Check any government form. White is the first choice on any form. That's crazy as hell. You know what? I will do that too because I have never thought about that. You know what I'm saying? But that's some interesting shit right there. That's real interesting, man. I'm gonna check that out. But no, so the gaslighting element of that, he not he not really far off about it, because I have seen it myself a lot of times. And you know, it's just one of those things that, like, where they will try and tell us certain things about ourselves. They'll try to like co-opt our movements and different stuff like that, like a lot of stuff along them lines. And that kind of run me into this next clip, right? Because let me see, EB say, do you get taxed different by race? Shit, you know what, that's interesting that you say that, because a lot of things, like what he gonna point out in this next clip, my guy FD Signifier, he gonna point out a lot about what we have traditionally been up against black people, because it's about people calling themselves black Republicans. And he pointed out how, you know, at the end of the day, whether it's Democrat or Republican, it all end up going through the same, coming down to the same bottom line in the capitalist form of society. Now, capitalism picked up where racism, where you know, like racial slavery left off, where open racism left off, capitalism picked up. You know what I'm saying? But capitalism was also doled out and implemented along racial lines, like redlining in neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? My dad fought in Vietnam. The vets that came back from Vietnam, they got first vouchers for the projects. The white vets that came back, the black vets that came back got vouchers for the projects when they was just building them. Like my dad, he got the voucher for Northline projects. And then the white veterans, when they came back, they got like vouchers for like homes in the suburbs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all kind of, they don't tax along racial lines, but they incentivize economic opportunities along racial lines. And they say it's just the way it is, you know what I'm saying? But it's not that way. They even did experiments on that. They had a black family trying to sell a house, a nice ass house, you know what I'm saying? And they kept on, the appraisers was undervaluing the house. Oh, it's worth this, it's worth that. They took their pictures out, all that, put a picture of some white families up there smiling with a little dog. Man, valuation of the house went up 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, but it's real. So I guess in a way they do kind of tax along by racial lines. Say you're not lying. In every application I have ever filled out, white first for race. Damn, that's some psychological shit right there. I never knew about that. But I wanna show y'all this about what he was saying about, like, you know, black people. Okay, basically I kind of set y'all up because it was a long clip, so I'm gonna set y'all up for like where I'm bringing us in at. He was talking about you know how they try and get us to go to one political party or other political party. So it'll be like you'll have people talking about like, oh, you on the Democratic plantation or whatever, but like Republicans, they don't even want nothing to do with you. Okay, so it's like Democrats won't really want to get nothing done. They more or less need your numbers, need to be able to prove that they can keep you in line. Like, no, they not gonna do this, they not gonna do that, because they're with us and we know what they want. You know what I'm saying? And then Republicans, they like, man, shit, just every time something happened to them, just go buy some more guns. You know what I'm saying? That's how they think. Like, they ain't with none of that shit. And I'll prove it to you. If you, for everybody out there watching that consider themselves a black Republican, right? Try and show up to your black Republican gathering with another black person unannounced. But also let them know that black person is Republican. No, get bold. Show up with two black people unannounced, but let them know they black Republicans. You gonna see if it's a black thing or a Republican thing right there. You know what I'm saying? I bet you don't get invited to shit else. You know what I'm saying? You done got that room a little bit dark. You know what I'm saying? Or try this. Try weighing in on a white community issue. You a Republican just like them, right? They respect you. You they friend. You black, but you're not just there for black stuff, right? It ain't like the Democratic plantation, right? So try and weigh in on the white issue. You know what I'm saying? Or better yet, You get to talk about black people being Democrats and everybody black voting Democrats, but I dare you to say something about like white Democrats stupid too, or something like that. Say something about them. You ain't gonna, they gonna be like, hold on, this don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Should we be letting them get away with this? You know what I'm saying? So ain't no sides. You know what I'm saying? What Lil Uzi say? Stand on my money, don't pick no sides. So it ain't no sides. But my guy, he was pointing out, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to FD. He was pointing out that the way it really is with us and how it traditionally has been with us and with our people, we always been like, we, you know what they call, like they talk about socialism like it's bad, but socialism is basically like the saying like it take a village. You know what I'm saying? Selling dinners is socialism. You know what I'm saying? When you take your quest and you get quest, but you get somebody else some quest for, they give you some money because you know what I'm saying? That's considered like socialism, making your own micro economy. You know what I'm saying? What's better than that? Capitalism is like every man for theyself trying to pay into the system, and don't nobody try to do nothing amongst yourselves and shit. And it's all competitive. So, you know what I'm saying? It's made to pitch you directly against the people you could be working with. So capitalism is what haven't really served us. You know what I'm saying? EB say he like capitalism. Say he not lying every capitalism. Yeah, you know, capitalism is what ain't really served us. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way it's set up. And I like democratic socialism, and I like what do they call it? I forget the kind of capitalism they call it, but not the crony capitalism we got going on now. Let's go.
During and after the March on Washington. For example, did you know that Martin Luther King wasn't even planning to attend at first? It was a last-minute audible called by President Kennedy himself to get him there to hopefully tamp down on the original plans for the march, which were to erupt into direct action, aka civil unrest. The inconvenient truth was that this crowning moment for Martin Luther King was actually a psyop from the very beginning. And one of the biggest detractors that really gives us the truth as to what happened during this moment is Malcolm X himself, who remarked on how the march was co-opted when it was given the green light by the United States government. According to Malcolm and reports of the time, the civil rights movement had kind of stalled out. Organizations are running out of funds, energy was low, things weren't working as perfectly as they needed to be, and the people were getting restless and more willing to take action and rise up. The March on Washington started as a more grassroots and explicitly work and labor-oriented movement. And it was King and many other of the more established black leaders that came in and changed it from being a radical threat to the establishment to King's crowning moment, and basically the end of racism if you listen to what Republicans say about King now.
We're going to march on Washington, march on the Senate, march on the White House, march on the Congress, and tie it up, bring it to a halt. Don't let the government proceed. They even said they was going to go out to the airport and lay down on the runway and don't let no airplanes land.
The marchers have been instructed to bring no signs. Signs were provided. They have been told to sing one song, "We Shall Overcome." They've been told how to arrive, when, where to arrive, where to assemble, when to start marching, the route to the march. First aid stations were strategically located, even where to faint. Yes, I was there. I observed that circus. Who ever heard of angry revolutionists all harmonizing "We shall overcome" someday while tripping and swaying along arm in arm with the very people they were supposed to be angrily revolting against? Who ever heard of angry revolutionists swinging their bare feet together with the oppressors in lily pad park pools with gospels and guitars and "I Have a Dream" speeches?
Malcolm illustrates how black movements have really always been co-opted, probably since slavery, as movements get steam, or maybe as they run out of steam, or get desperate, or maybe even get more radical and get close to serious change. Before that really can happen, white interest and power structures begin to infiltrate and find a way to curtail the radical potential of these movements. Radical change becomes policy reform. Defund the police becomes retrain the police, or fund the police, actually. But even still, speeches from John Lewis and Philip Randolph were criticized because of their communist undertones, with Randolph having such bars as,
"It falls to the Negro to reassert this proper priority of values, because our ancestors were transformed from human personalities into private property. It falls to us to demand new forms of social planning, to create full employment, and to put automation at the service of human needs, not at the service of profits for.
So you see what this was really supposed to be about, because it was Randolph and Lewis's march to begin with. And this speech is often treated like the end of King's story, as if he was assassinated the next day, dying for all of America's sins and allowing for the signing of the Civil Rights Bill and ending racism forever, but that's not what happened. King wasn't assassinated until 5 years later. And in that 5 years of time, especially in the years right before King was killed, he became more and more amenable to radical and pro-black sentiment.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions.
Basically, this kind of the part of that they ain't really tell you about Dr. King. Like, he started, some people know this about Dr. King, but he started to get what would be considered a little bit radical, you know what I'm saying? But what they did was, after, you know what I'm saying, the FBI did what they did to him, unalived him. Then they turned him into a hero and put a Martin Luther King street in every city and made his birthday a holiday. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Come on, man. Knock that shit out, man.
Let's go.
Millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. Today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
And this is partially due to another major figure invisibilized by history, one Stokely Carmichael, later to be known as Kwame Ture.
As the years went on, King became even more radical, went even more to the left. And I've been talking a lot lately about a new book that came out recently called Prophet of Discontent that I would encourage everyone to read. But the point is that he was ever becoming more radical and to the left, and ever involving himself more with anti-colonial theory, anti-imperialist theory, anti-capitalist theory. King is quoted in an exchange most people are not made aware of with Andy Young, who was still a major player in Black conservative politics, funding, supporting many Black conservative efforts, branded as an extension of Dr. King. But in this moment, we're reminded that Dr. King called him out and said, Andy, the problem you have is that you're still a capitalist and I'm not.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare.
Ture, still going as Carmichael at the time, became the chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, aka SNCC, in 1966, and was one of the leading voices behind the concept of Black Power, and was at the time a burgeoning Pan-Africanist and socialist himself. When you hear King, only a year before his death, talking about changes of the heart, he's talking about the fact that Carmichael and Malcolm X and other more radical figures might have been leading to some things in the right direction. It's during this time period.
Right, and they say we ain't never got our check. We still waiting on that check he said we was marching for. Nah, as you see, if you heard, I don't know if y'all heard, because they played it a little bit faster, probably for like copyright reasons or whatever, copyright flagging reasons. But it said at the march, when they marched on Washington, they told them where to faint at. They told them to only sing. They had the official song of the march was "We Shall Overcome." That was all they could sing. Like, you know what I'm saying? They told them where to march, when to start marching. Like, originally it was supposed to be something else, but you know what I'm saying? They at some point, man, they blinked. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King blinked, and they knew the power he had. But what they did was, man, they just sold him. They sold him to be a figurehead. Like, you know, we gonna make this your shining moment and all that. And then, as you see, he said that dream, and that's the quote that people don't ever. They always talk about the "I have a dream" quote, but you know what I'm saying. Only real niggas know about the dream was a nightmare quote. The dream might have been a nightmare quote. You know what I'm saying?
The problem you have is that you're still a capitalist and I'm not.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare.
Touré, still going as Carmichael at the time, became the chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, aka SNCC, in 1966, and was one of the leading voices behind the concept of Black Power, and was at the time a burgeoning Pan-Africanist and socialist himself. When you hear King, only a year before his death, talking about changes of the heart, he's talking about the fact that Carmichael and Malcolm X and other more radical figures might have been leading to some things in the right direction. It's during this time period where you hear King to begin to touch on redistribution of wealth, reparations, anti-colonialism, speaking against the war in Vietnam. His public approval had risen the years leading up to and right after the March on Washington, but like many black leaders before and after him, once King started to more boldly challenge the borders of American hegemony, he was back to being public enemy number one. And it's not long after this time that James L. Ray, a meager two-bit crook of a man, too dumb and untalented to make it in the U.S. military, that also, from what I understand, somehow had the money to pay for plastic surgery in the 60s, stalked MLK for weeks before shooting and killing him with a single bullet in a single shot that doesn't match the rifle it was supposedly fired from, all while standing on top of a bathtub. That's the official story.
And the FBI killed Martin Luther King. Private properties inherently theft.
This image of King as a man completely against civil unrest who wanted to just end segregation so his black children could play with little white children. The smiling, waving King that was moderate and dignified and passive. That's the official story. But that's not the real story.
The young militants are in the revolutionary spirit. And they are concerned about revolutionizing certain values that have been existing in our society that need to be revolutionized. And I think the other thing that we must see is that, as President Kennedy said, those who make peaceful revolution impossible only make violent revolution inevitable.
The reality is that King was a
Basically, that quote right there, where it's like, the young militant spirit makes, when they make a peace impossible, they make violence inevitable. That was the Southern Baptist Coalition way of saying, we tired of this shit, motherfucker. We about to slide on you niggas. Hey, y'all know they be using. They be using Martin Luther King for them flyers on Martin Luther King Day and putting them like koozies and chains on them and shit. That's the Martin Luther King we really want to hear from. We tired of you niggas. We about to slide on you niggas one time. Spin the block 2 times if no one's out there. Spin the block 3 times if no one's... That shit done. That's crazy as hell. Let me see what EB say. Why would a professional liar live up to his promises of reparations, 40 acres and a mule? Exactly. Why? That's why Malcolm X was against the whole thing. Annette say, that's what Dave say. Shout out to young Cuzzo David. Annette say, any black man in power that doesn't go with the flow of the government, they will take down. Facts. They already proved that. Lamar said, it mean they've been bought. Yeah. Rick say, the passive Negro will never achieve freedom. Dawg, Rick hard on everything and everybody, damn it. He ain't taking no shorts. That's how EB is too. He like, hold on. Yeah, they pay him to take the fall for that. Probably set his family up for life for that assassination. Yeah, no, you best believe that you know, the dude family is all set up who got framed for the assassination. He was able, he might even be free now. Ain't no telling. You know what I'm saying? It's no real telling. They say that they had somebody do, like, he had plastic surgery back then, so it could have been somebody else they used, and then that person that looked like that they made him look like when he got the plastic surgery, that person might just still be somebody who in custody if they ask. Like, it ain't no telling, man. Like, the FBI was behind it, you know, but and I brung all that up and I showed y'all this to point out to y'all, like, you know, it's another kind of another form of what dude was talking about, like that gaslighting that they do. Even our heroes, you know, they gaslighted us about. As you see, they would let us learn about Martin Luther King in schools. Well, not no more. I don't know if y'all know, but they took Martin Luther King out the schools too. They don't like him no more either. They don't like nothing black. Soon it's gonna be like Black History Month is over. Right now they trying to get rid of the black sororities and fraternities. You know what I'm saying? Not the white ones, they cool, but the black ones they trying to get rid of. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, this 2023, and I feel like in this day and age where they so blatant with it, you think people would blatantly fight for their rights, but now it seems like people don't care more than ever, or they trying more than ever to be like politically correct. Like, man, why would you go march, or why would you do this or do that? Like, they want to play their game still. I don't know, it's weird, man. It's America, like me being half African, half African American, half black and half African, you know what I'm saying? Half foundational black American and African, or whatever you want to call it. It's like, I feel like sometimes, man, black folks got a weird relationship that, and I know everybody from the outside looking in see that shit. It's like, man, they want to be y'all. You know what I'm saying? They want to be us. Like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they able to convince us we don't got no power, and that we don't need to combine. Like, they only let us combine to apologize to us about some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we only get to be a black community when they apologizing for some shit they did to us. But other than that, like, they try to convince us, and they able to a lot of times convince us we can't do this, we can't do that, you know, just different things. It's funny, man. I don't know, I hear some babies crying and people yelling downstairs. I don't know what happened. I think the dog might have been somebody. Somebody is howling down there. It'd be too much shit going on. But yeah, I figured that shit out. But nah, anyway. So it's a lot of that going on. A lot of the stuff that they do, man. They try to keep us just where they want us at. And it's a lot of gaslighting. Okay, you ever been in a relationship where somebody point out everything negative you do, but as soon as you want to leave or something, or you ready to leave, or you ready to break up, you're hurt, you're tired, you're down, you ready to break up, you're heartbroken and shit. Now they, come on, baby, what's wrong? Or they might even start crying to you. I'm sorry, I don't know what. That's white people and black people in America. They got so much to say about us. We this, we that, we the third. Then when we start to go back this way and be like, okay, we just gonna do our thing, worry about ourselves, they be like, hey, what's up, y'all? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. We make a lot of the content on TikTok, a lot of the black stuff that go viral come from black Twitter. You know what I'm saying? But they take the TikTok dances that the black creators make and just, it's crazy, man. And then they turn around and tell us like, oh, y'all culture is destructive, it's this, it's that. Why they capitalize off of it. We need to capitalize off that shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I always consider myself. Like, I try to be a cultural capitalist. Like E was talking about his different forms of capitalism. I'm a coin phrase one myself, cultural capitalism. And that's basically, we got pointed out to us at one point when I was in college, like black people are the only people that can create culture, and it's worth money. What we decide something is popular. We make something popular. We make something unpopular. You know what I'm saying? We decide. We do a lot of that, and it end up starting with us, and it end up going all over the world. We got people doing drill music in the Netherlands. It's people doing drill music in Alaska, Nebraska, and shit like that. Like, our culture is everywhere, and it's not just the negative either. It's people doing yo hip hop keep it real hip hop and breakdancing on their heads in Japan and in Australia and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? People wearing dreadlocks everywhere. Like what we do, it goes and it gets, it's capital, it's cultural capital. We create feelings. We can put a feeling out into the world and make the whole world feel that shit. But we not told that about ourselves. We, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like this, y'all like that. Let me see what Dave got to say. It say not just jealousy, they want, Annette say not just jealousy. David say jealousy, Annette say not just jealousy, they want power over anything and anyone. David said, true, they have to change our mindset because anyone black that does anything, they become the best heart surgeons, inventors, and so much more, man. Tennis players, you know what I'm saying? Race car drivers, whatever, it don't matter. When we get our opportunity, we take and make the most of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, you know, how it is. It's just the nature of, you know, how we do. We have been told we have to be twice as good and we gotta go twice as far. And you know, I feel like that's in a way it's another form of gaslight. And sticking to the theme of gaslighting, that bring me to my last clip. Do y'all think like some people like marriage itself is gaslighting or like a form of it? You know what I mean? Cause this next lady, she has some interesting stuff to say. And like I was saying in the beginning of the show, I had like kind of this same discussion with a married friend of mine the other day. She was kind of telling me, expressing like this same sentiment, like she ain't no city girl, she ain't no, you know what I'm saying, she ain't thought it out, she got money, you know what I'm saying, her husband, he well off, everything, both of their families is good, everything is everything, right? So it ain't nothing like that. But she was telling me, you know, some stuff, she was kind of expressing some stuff to me about marriage, about, you know, like the nature of it or whatever. And I just want to know what y'all think. Is it like, do people get gaslight themselves about it? Let's go.
See this next clip. Horrible advice.
To younger women who are making decisions about their future and maybe you want to get married and have kids, this message is for you. Marriage, if that's what you want, and I know people are going to joke and say never get married, ha ha ha, okay, that's very invalidating to the wants of other people. So if marriage is what you want, what I will say is it's okay if you want that. It's okay if you want marriage and kids. But what I will say is it should be a part of your journey, not what the whole journey is about and the final destination, the pinnacle of the mountain, the end all be all. Yes, there are women who are 100% happy being a wife and a mom, and I am happy for them. But unfortunately, what we've seen in statistics and what we've seen in life is that a lot of women are not satisfied with that. So what I will tell you is live your life, live these young years, live your life, period, for you and what you want. Go to the college you want, take the job that you want to take the promotion that you want to take, buy the house that you want to buy, move to the city, state, or country that you want to move to. Live your life as if marriage is never going to happen. Do not make decisions based on either a man you have met that's in your life or an imaginary man that you're planning on meeting in the future. I spent 5 years of my life in a marriage trying to convince myself that this is enough for me. And don't get me wrong, you have to offer the disclaimer, I love my kids are not the issue. They're not. Or people will think you're a horrible mom who doesn't like their kids. That's not the case. But I spent 5 years trying to convince myself that I was happy with just this, and I would always pour water on the spark, and I let people convince me that wanting anything outside of wife and mom was selfish and being ambitious was a bad thing and you're trying too hard, and it's okay to not want those things, and it's okay.
And look.
All right, so I got some thoughts about that, like I told y'all. So I was talking to the girl the other day or whatever, right, over the weekend, and we was kind of talking about that because she have expressed to me, you know what I'm saying, a couple of times that, like, you know, she was in a, like, in her situation, you know, she met the guy, you know, they had kids, you know, She had a kid, and then she had another kid, 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 then she had another kid. You know what I'm saying? Now, in her particular situation, that's like what he wanted was a big family, right? And I guess it's not. You have some people to where they are raised traditional, right? And she is from, actually, she is half African or whatever. So like she was kind of raised more traditional, like not really with the traditions of this country, right? So more of a traditional wife and mother, almost like the lady was saying. You know what I'm saying? And so her thing was she had the kids, she doing everything, that she supposed to do. But I guess the issue with her is really like, I guess it's kind of like what the lady said. Like, it don't be that you hate your kids. You don't hate your kids. You love your kids. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you are, and it's not that you ungrateful or nothing like that. But it almost be like it ain't what you, it's not what you signed up for. You know what I'm saying? And nobody really tells you that. Like if I could kind of imagine that in a sense, because I got one child and that's a lot, right? You know what I'm saying? But I could imagine, like, let's just say I wanted a lot of kids, right? I don't gotta really have the kids or whatever. So all I gotta do is every time the opportunity come up after my wife or whatever pop a kid out, just get her pregnant again. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she always carrying kids or taking care of kids, and I really don't help like that or really gotta do nothing. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta care, but knowing like this somebody that I've known for a while since she had 0 kids, you know what I mean? And like the way I was kind of explaining it to her was like, man, we grow in different ways, but like, you can't really take back the choices you made and stuff like that. And it's like, I think it's a situation to where it from the outside, especially when you younger, you know what I'm saying? It's like the right thing to do. It's like, yeah, we gonna get married, we gonna get together, make this thing happen. We gonna have kids. It's gonna work out. All that shit not gonna be peaches and cream, and you still gonna have them kids there. You know what I'm saying? It's nobody is gonna really say, okay, I guarantee when it get like this, or the pressure get like this, or the load of the situation get like that, like I'm gonna step up and do this or do that. You don't. The trick is that you don't know until you get to that point with that person. You think like, man, I don't mind having kids because I know they gonna help me out. Like they might look at their version of helping, like I take care of XYZ financially, so I'm not helping with shit around the house. Like you got to do all that. You know what I'm saying? So you might be like, man, this your life of servitude. Like, I mean, not like that. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want, that's cool. But if it ain't what you was thinking it was gonna be like, then yeah, I mean, shit, that's pretty much it. Cause you can't abandon your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you pretty much got it laid out for you and shit. So let me see what Annette got to say. He say, I agree and disagree because marriage is fine. You just have to find that person who wants the same goals and options as you and learn how to compromise. Without that, the relationship will fail. And then she say, traditional or not, you have to find those things out about your mate before you get married. We don't get to know or be friends with each other anymore before we date. Boom. That's a good point right there. Like, I don't know how long they knew each other before they started, you know what I'm saying, dating and having kids, and it might not have really been a long time. Then Rick say, nah, don't be telling people to do something because you made a fucked up decision for you. We just jump in it and go because they made what you mean by that? You say don't be telling people to do something because you made a fucked up decision for you. Like, do you mean like telling people not to do it, not to get married? Or you mean like telling people to get married or whatever, or the way their marriage is going? Annette say we just jump in it and go because they may be scared of losing that person to someone else before you could pop the question. It's sad. Well, you know, in a lot of cultures, like once you get that girl pregnant, y'all getting married. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I say it's a good point. I don't know if you know you know how sometimes like you'll see on the movies where like the dude get the girl pregnant, so then like they go, and it don't be like another culture, it'd be here like in America. I know people that have done that here, where they get the girl pregnant and then, you know, they'll end up getting married or whatever like that, or, you know, to try to, not to like cover it up, but just to kind of put more of an official twist on just not having just laid up and made a baby like that. But I don't really know, man. I feel like I kind of feel like with what Annette said or whatever. I want Rick to get back to me on and elaborate on what he was saying too. But like I do feel like you got to be on the same page with a person, because I tell y'all something interesting as fuck, and this tripped me out, right? One of my tenants, she was telling me that like she got kids, right? And she was telling me like she take care of the kids. She don't expect nothing of her baby daddy. She don't sign him up for child support. She got 2 kids by him. She don't really expect nothing of him or nothing like that. And I'm like, why don't you make him do nothing, or why don't you do this or do that? And she said like, well, you know, he was raised with his mama was all like, you know, I'm independent, I don't need no man. So he seen his mama doing everything herself. So that's how he think that's how he look at a woman, like she could do everything herself, like how my mama did. And I was like, damn, that shit is deep right there. That shit threw me for a curveball. You know what I'm saying? So you get with him and it's like, yeah, you are cool. Yeah, you a strong, independent woman. I like you. I like that about you. Thanks, Jaquavion. And then Jaquavion, blah, 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 get you pregnant and shit. Then next thing you know, it's like, I need some help. Bitch, you a strong, independent woman. I like that about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be a whole different twist. You know what I mean? Let me see what Rick had to say. Rick say, right, she made a decision. Hold on. He said we made a decision because she didn't want to be right in her situation. It doesn't mean it's not right for the next woman. Ambitions, blah, blah, blah. What does that matter if you're giving? What those matter if your partner giving you everything? That bitch greedy. Dog, you funny as fuck. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, it's, you know, for me, it's like, I guess for me, knowing a person kind of in that situation, similar to that, it hit a little bit different because I'm knowing that from a human perspective. And then with Rick, I know Rick, he married, you know what I'm saying? And I know he obviously he a man, you know what I'm saying? And he's solid and he got a wife. And I know from his perspective, from the man perspective, ain't really trying to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't trying to hear that your contributions is being taken either lightly or being skewed into being a negative thing or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But and not to like in Rick's situation or nobody's situation. However, the person I know and like dealing with them on that real human level, it's like, man, shit, a lot of logic dictate men, a lot of emotion dictate women. You know what I'm saying? And that's real, and that's something we could all agree to. So it's like you might not want to, but you might have to take that in mind or whatever in them certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really think nobody wrong. I just think it's interesting. You know, because we as men, we do kind of settle in and get content. You know what I'm saying? And we start to getting toward our 40s and becoming who we really are and settling in. And I feel like women, they start to not really knowing who they are a lot of times as they get older. We start to really figuring it out. They start out thinking they know who they are and what they want, and slowly growing up and realizing, you know what I'm saying, shit. So it'd be a little bit different. Let me see. Rick said, hold on. Rick said, you see her eyebrows? You say it ain't nothing there, Rick? Hold on, let me see if my Zoom it gonna show me some love or not. Hold on, let me see. Rick said, do you see the eyebrows? Yeah, she don't look like she look a little emotionless without no eyebrows. You don't know if she mad, you don't know if she happy. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on. You know? But yeah, man, it's crazy. So that's an interesting one though. Let me see what y'all gotta say. Annette say, don't keep letting them think that the woman handles everything, especially if you as a woman can't and need help. He won't know how to help you because you're not showing him. Rick says she ain't doing it. So he gotta keep being a dead. So he gonna keep being a deadbeat. Yeah, that's, man, it get political. So political. It get political, man, for real. And yeah, man, I guess, you know, that's some food for thought to end it on right there. Because man, forever is a long time, you know what I'm saying, to be in the situation for a man or a woman. I done had some girls tell me, like, and I ain't even gonna lie, like, I swear to God, I done had some girls tell me, like, you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you going to work. I'll give you my whole check. I'll do this, I'll do that. You ain't gotta work. I don't want you working. Cause they is afraid, like, you know, you gonna meet girls at work, it's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like that. And what would, like, I could have been taken care of and shit and all that and did what the fuck I want to do, had some, you know, like, been taken care of, but I couldn't have complained about not doing what I wanted to do if she was funding me. Plus, that's when you do some shit or she feel like I paid your phone, so give me your phone. Oh, I don't like this number. Bring me your clothes I bought you. And them shoes I bought you. Set all your shit on fire. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, you know. She said, shit, you can meet women while she at work. You can meet a woman while she at work. Yeah, exactly. You know me, E. I'm like, oh, them red flags. Them ain't good deals. Them red flags. You know? But nah. It's all good in the neighborhood. Just something to think about, man. I want to end it with that little food for thought. You know what I'm saying? He say it's a setup. And shout out to the moderators, man. Shout out to Ricky Williams. Shout out to Annette Williams. No relation. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do a 23andMe and figure out who is the original Williamses and shit that came here from Ireland and shit, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Plus Annette got freckles and shit, so she definitely probably got some Irish in her and shit. So yeah, it's crazy, man. We gonna leave it off on that food for thought. Appreciate all y'all checking me out today, man. Tomorrow we got another one coming at 5. EB say he got freckles too. EB definitely mixed with some shit. Dog, like some type of, I ain't no telling EB. You do your 23andMe, it won't be typical. It's funny as hell. And my whole name is Irish Sean McDaniel. You know what I'm saying? With an African middle name, Musimbi. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, shout out to all y'all, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all checking me out. The best minds, you know what I'm saying, in my little corner of the internet. You know, when we blow up, it's gonna be like. But yeah, man, shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. And until tomorrow. Oh yeah, shout out to my cousin David. Love you, cousin. I'm gonna come check you out. I'm gonna try this weekend too. So hold it down. But until tomorrow, Later. I'm out of here, y'all.